from our last tale.
I mean, I don't know what you're doing here. I know what they're doing here.
And why are you here?
Who even are you?
One thing at a time, Viola. We should get away from him. He will kill us.
Let's try this. This is not gonna work.
And
Let's
Viola,
try it.
like, position herself to try and help Ste'yn or, like, catch her if she falls, just in case.
Ste'yn!
Ste'yn, what did you do?
No! You have advantage.
Yes, I got a 5 and a 6.
The door opens, and it kind of seems to be startled out of sleep, and kind of sits upright, rubs at its eyes
Close
for a
the door.
moment, looks up.
As soon as I see it, I close the door instinctually.
What you see is this large, fur-covered creature. The look of it feels like it is constantly ready to attack.
He takes a torch, tosses it through the bars, and lights it using prestidigitation so that the null will burn.
Are you closing that door?
Yeah, he closes the door and walks away.
All right.
Okay, where to next?
There were a couple of doors in the long hallway. Yeah.
Ste'yn's gonna look over at Snow as they're walking and just quietly ask, "Better?"
You see that his face is white as his hair, and his eyes are harder than you've ever seen them, and he doesn't respond.
She sets a hand on his shoulder and sort of squeezes it gently, and then lets him be.
You make your way back down the narrow, dark corridor. You're heading to that further down door along the entry wall.
Yeah.
It is also unlocked. You peek your head inside and see what appear to be a number of blacksmithing tools, different items like that. But it's also very like cobbled. It's very random pieces. Most of the items appear to be worn and rusted down. There are a couple of things that are still kind of intact. You can see there's a training bow, or what appears to be a training bow. It looks flimsy, like flimsy wood, but it's there. And you also see another flimsy-looking item appears to be like a training short sword. There's a dusty, unused metal table used for honing the swords, but that's about the only other thing in
Anything magical?
I feel like it's been 10 minutes.
Nope.
It's probably getting close to
Oh.
it. We've also been moving a lot, and
Peeking in, what's that? Magic?
yeah.
I was gonna move on.
You're like, this is boring. All right. Yeah, you go through that furthest south door. You're in a hallway. This one, immediately to your right, there is another door. That one, again, looks like that flimsier kind of door. And then in the other direction, you see a very plain-looking hallway. There's a couple of tapestries along the walls. There are more unlit sconces, and it appears that it turns after maybe 40 or so feet. It turns to the left.
Can I open this door? Oh,
You
it's
can
locked.
try and unlock it.
Oh, sure. That is a 23.
Yeah, you unlock it. So you go inside of this room. This appears to be another one of those barracks, but there's 6 beds in this one. They're kind of a little more haphazardly spread out. This one has a small desk on it that has 4 of those wooden steins. And the beds appear to be rather disheveled as well. Lots of stains and more of that very musty, disgusting odor. Give me an investigation check, everyone inside.
Oh, I also wanted to mention that when we walked back by the goblin that Viola hogtied, she would have just like peeked at him again to make sure that he was still out.
Viola, high or low?
Low.
He was starting to kind of fuss and shimmy in his ropes.
Viola would have knocked him on the head again.
He's out again. He's hogtied. What's he supposed to do about it?
Get beheaded.
Sure, roll to see if you hit him too hard.
I only skewer people, not goblins.
That is going to be 8 more damage.
All right, tell me what it looks like when you destroy this man.
Viola will just shake her head and put her short sword up to his chest and just slowly push it in until she knows that he's done.
That was so much worse than I thought it was going to be. I thought you
It's gonna be like a slash and he's done. No.
I didn't want to like.
No.
I thought you
chop
almost
any
gonna do
limbs off or
non-lethal.
cut his throat and like put blood everywhere. That's her intention. She doesn't want to get blood all over Ste'yn's holy place.
Dang.
Well, her clothes don't clean as easily, so she's trying to keep them clean.
These
A
are my
magic
good
for that?
clothes. It's true, we do.
I got an 11 for the investigation.
I got a 16.
11, 16,
Also 16.
16. Viola, are you doing investigation or you're staying
She's
outside?
out in the hallway.
Excellent. In this barracks, you don't spot anything magical. You do find under one of the beds, you find a small piece of parchment with very terribly scribbled writing. I don't think any of you speak
Gobbish.
Gobbish.
Goblin? No.
Goblin.
But there is a note that looks like it was written, some kind of something written by one of the goblins.
Beau's gonna pocket the note.
Yeah, that's what you spot in here. These wooden signs, these messy beds. You do see another you had not seen before, another one of those slotted windows that's looking to a side you did not look at outside of the courtyard area. So are you making your way back into the hall?
Yeah.
Excellent. You make your way down the hall. You see 2 suits of armor. As you guys move into the hall, you hear this incredibly loud crashing sound as the suit of armor that you ran past, which has its arms kind of in front of it, and its hands clasped around the hilt of a far oversized longsword. Or it did until that longsword, once you passed it, dropped out of its hands and clattered to the ground. The sound echoes for a few seconds down this hall.
Well,
Viola will
Is-
walk back this way just to keep an eye and see if anybody's coming.
Is this door locked before I touch it? Like, is it supposed to be locked?
No, it's
Okay.
not. Are you walking inside?
Yeah.
So you go to the door and you go ahead and open it. Immediately the door is ever so slightly pushing against something. Something seems to be sitting in front of it. And you look into what appears to be you look to see one side of a very kind of wide and long room. It is full of things. What you can see from that kind of angle before you fully push the door open, you see some boxes, some large crates off to the corner, off to the side. There's like 4 of them, 2 on the bottom, 2 stacked on top. You see more of these like metal canisters that are set up along the ground. Here they appear to be kind of neatly stacked. But as you finished opening the door, you could now tell very quickly that everything else in that room is just a scattered mess of things. There's books, there's ceramic pots, there's gardening tools, there's more chests, bowls, all manner of things that are just all over the place. As you open the door, 2 entities turn in your direction. One whips its head in your direction. The other very slowly turns. The one that kind of immediately looked at you, it is the face, mostly, of a female. Her entire head appears to be covered in these thick, golden, serpentine lengths around her skull and down by her shoulders. Her chest plating are these golden rivulets around her slender form. But from the waist down, her body is curled in this one long, twisting tendril that appears to be holding her up in a very serpentine manner. And beside her, you see someone. He's simply wearing a black cloak. His head is face down
Sassian?
and then up towards you. Doesn't. Well, in this instance, the cloak is covering. It does sound like him, doesn't it? The cloak is covering down to like just over his lips. And you see these very thin, pale lips kind of pull apart into a loose smile. The teeth are sharp, jagged pieces, razor sharp. He looks back at the serpentine female. The smile kind of lowers a little bit as he says, "It's always funny when worlds collide. Now close this domain." And in the next instant, like a small pop, he's gone. The females...
It seemed like there was a spell being cast?
Potentially.
Like his hands move, a word being used, or is it just a component
sure.
that he had or something?
Hold
We
on.
had leveled
component
up,
patch.
could I have used counterspell?
If you were leveled up, you could have used counterspell.
Okay, so it was.
I think you would have found that incredibly displeasing, but you could have. She looks at you, Beau, and then I guess as Ste'yn has entered as well. She eyes you. So, you're the ones making so much noise.
Sorry.
We didn't mean to end up here.
I was
It
gonna
just
go
sort
to
of
walk over and open up
happened.
this door.
Since we're in here, just gonna.
Oh,
you know.
it wasn't supposed to be unlocked before I scroll up and look at it.
No, because that wall, what you notice about that particular wall, which I should have explained earlier too, and I forgot. My bad.
Oh,
That wall looks very different than the walls in the rest of this stone room. That is a solid line of just metal panels.
minus the
They
door.
look shiny and new. The door is also off of its hinges.
So does that mean it just falls over when he touches it?
It's already like half opened.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like it's just there.
I'm gonna take a look at
And
the hallway
she looks
here.
at you as you're walking and she says, "You cannot just walk in here like this. You're interrupting."
Really sorry. He's rude. He doesn't know social cues. Hi, I'm Snow. What's your name?
He glares at you. And Beau, as you walk past that door, what you see,
It looks like 2 cages.
yeah, it does. But these cages are not nearly so cleanly locked and closed. In fact, they're open, and inside of it you find one hobgobby, and the other one, a second hobgobby.
But they're in open cages?
It appears they've pushed the door open, or the door was opened or something. Maybe because they were all alerted to the very loud sounds you guys made in the hallway.
Just gonna
No idea what you're talking about.
step right here and close the door.
The door does not remain closed. She's glaring at you as you walked in, and her eyes fall on you, Ste'yn. So Beau's being ridiculous. Snow is seemingly being ridiculous as well. And her eyes fall on you, Ste'yn. That's one word.
You see, we were trying to
It
get
works with
one
other
place,
people.
and we ended up sort of forced on a path here. So we've been trying to essentially find our way out and find our way back on the road and back on our merry way to what we've been trying to do this whole time. We mean no interruption. We're just trying to do what we're here to do, and seem to have gotten stuck in a different domain, place. The stars are weird.
Her curling lower half of her slowly begins to kind of like loosen, and she kind of starts to slither towards you, Ste'yn. And she smiles as she approaches you.
Well,
she
Ste'yn
moves
is making sure
closer to-
she's in front of Snow.
as she moves
Sure.
closer to Ste'yn, Viola will move back.
I was gonna
over in
say-
this direction, and she'll put one hand on each of her swords, not drawing them yet, but
Sure.
I was gonna say before she steps right in front of Ste'yn, he was gonna throw a warning knife across that way. So he's not throwing it at her, but it was like when she stepped right there, he threw it before
Okay.
she took one more step, and it just went like across her.
We're trying to negotiate here.
Roll
Yes.
intimidation, Beau. You didn't
14.
spend points on this one. She stops at that point, but she's still looking at Ste'yn. And she says, "Oh, I See. It must be you. And she eyes you up and down. Yes. Champion I heard about. I heard you might be interested in joining our side.
News travels fast.
It must. She holds one of her hands out to you. You offered, as I was told.
If I take your hand, what happens to my friends?
Would they like to worship too?
I'd like to know the name of
And
who I
I
worship.
tried to introduce myself.
She
and
ignores you
just kind of ignored
entirely.
me.
She continues to
Feeling
ignore
really
you.
left out over here. Does Snow have any idea of what kind of creature she is?
You can give me an intelligence check.
Can Beau as well?
Anyone would like to, May.
An intelligence
Just an
check?
intelligence?
Yeah. I was gonna say animal handling, and I'm like, I feel like these people would find that very rude.
Only if she's
Also-
considered a beast.
Whenever she reached out her hand, Viola is like very much paying attention to Ste'yn's hands and the hand that she reached out. And if Ste'yn goes to like shake her hand or something, then Viola is just going to like grab Ste'yn. Not like
I
keep
get it.
her from
That's
shaking
totally
Not
hands,
fine.
but
grablin
just,
gob
like,
her, but
be
grab
in
her.
contact with Ste'yn.
Not intending to hog tie Ste'yn, but
She just immediately has
Not
the rope
intending to
cut.
knock her out.
Just muscle memory at this point.
Oh my gosh.
So Beau only got a 5, but he is going to mind link to Ste'yn, telling her not to take the person's hand or thing's hand.
Snow got an 18.
Viola?
8.
Gotcha. Snow, in your travels, you have heard of such creatures as the Yuan-Ti, these half-serpentine, half-humanoid monstrosities that they are. She definitely seems to fit the bill, although you all notice immediately that just everything about her just screams gaudiness. Every inch that can be covered is covered in gold. All the way even down to just above where the shift from humanoid to serpentine happens, almost like a short skirt of additional gold just settling on her. You had asked her a question, Ste'yn?
Said I'd like to know the name of who I'm worshipping.
Give me a persuasion roll.
That is a 21.
For a moment, she breaks eye contact with you as she looks up towards the stone ceiling, as if right through it into the sky, and she hisses out the name. Mosine.
Has Ste'yn ever heard this name before?
Absolutely not.
Has Beau ever heard this name before?
Absolutely not.
Ste'yn sort
Since
of
Snow is
mimics
being
her looking up at the
ignored,
ceiling.
He's just gonna walk around.
And she doesn't stop you, Snow.
Is there
And after
anything
a
over here?
second,
Snow, you find a ton of things. It's more crates, it's more items, it's more chests. It's just, in fact, that area, were this something like combat, would be considered difficult terrain. It is just covered in things that looked like they were just tossed aside, probably from these crates. The hobgoblins that Beau had noticed, have come through the door. Ste'yn, what were you saying?
Ste'yn says, "And what can Mosine give me that my goddess cannot?"
The light is too weak to do anything compared to what the dark holds. It is power unlimited. You just need to praise her.
How many followers does she have?
Many, and soon many more. Join us. Now, join us. She holds her
I think
hand
I
out
need to
again.
do some more research first, and I don't really shake hands. I have a thing about touching people. But I'm interested in learning more. I don't make decisions quickly. You can ask them. I take my time.
True, she's really slow.
The words seem to take a moment to process, as if perhaps she was just expecting a very simple, yes, of course. And as she realizes that you are not agreeing, she lowers her hand. and she shakes her head. And as her head is shaking, her whole body is beginning to kind of undulate. The gold that was very form-fitted to a very slender, feminine form appears to be growing as if to accommodate as the entire top of her body begins to widen and thicken. Her arms seem to come to her side and just become morphed into the rest of her form, as in a few moments standing in front of you, or kind of hovering in front of you now, is just a very large gold enwrapped, essentially a python, staring you down. Maybe a cobra. Cobras still bite, right?
Yeah.
When
I'm going to
Beau-
need everyone to roll initiative. How did we do?
16.
5.
8.
13.
So, our hobgobs actually managed to roll 20s.
Huh.
Good for them. Good for them. So they are going to come on up. They both draw a long sword each. One comes crashing down towards you, Beau, and he's going to attempt to strike with his longsword. 13 to hit. I don't think 13 hits.
That misses by 1.
Excellent. Oh, wow. Maybe it's from having been in that cage and he wasn't able to strike true. But the second one is actually moving down towards Viola.
Straight down
Storming
and over
down.
towards Viola?
No, not straight down and over towards Viola.
Oh, okay.
Towards the wall and towards Viola.
Dang it.
The next one's going to strike with its longsword. This one has it in both hands coming down at Viola. That's a 21 to hit.
I don't
It's
know
a
why
good
you
question.
always roll 20 and higher when you're trying to hit.
It bites at her. Woo!
Oh.
That is a 22 to hit.
Yeah.
Be 4 damage. After that, it's going to raise its leg and also swipe at you again. 19 to hit
That also hits.
for an additional 3 damage. This one is also going to take a bite at you, Viola. Oh my goodness gracious. So remember that time I couldn't roll?
Oh boy.
It's gonna be quite the bite.
8 damage.
You're so inviting to hit. And it's going to deal out 4 slashing damage as it brings that sword down. And you're almost expecting it to crack against your beautiful golden armor and then realize you're not wearing said beautiful golden armor. The Yuanti is next.
Oh, they
The
were also higher
snake.
than everyone.
She rolled a 19.
Oh my gosh.
But that's okay, because you all get to go one after the other. She is here in front of Ste'yn. She dives down and kind of starts to try and curl herself around you, Ste'yn. So she really doesn't want to let you go. That is a 21.
Yeah.
All right. This might hurt a little bit. Before you quite realize that it wasn't so much a bite as it was a curling, she begins to constrict around you. It's going to be 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh my gosh.
Cool.
The most I
And
think
you are
Ste'yn's ever been
considered
hurt.
grappled.
Okay.
The snake head winds up very close to your face, almost resting on your shoulder. And you hear a little whisper of, "You should have just joined."
I never said I wouldn't.
Next.
Beau is going to disengage as a bonus action. He's going to run 20 feet up and then throw a knife at Sneaky Lady.
This is your psychic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's not gonna hit. It's a 2 plus 5. It's a 7.
Not so much.
And
Alright.
that's all he can do.
Dagger goes wide. Oh, I see.
Because he uses bonus action already to disengage.
Ste'yn, you are grappled.
Grappled?
Yes.
Cool.
The target is restrained.
For her action, Ste'yn is going to give a glance around and she's going to cast Bless on her friends, which means that for the next minute, so 10 rounds of combat, whenever y'all make an attack roll or saving throw, y'all can add a d4 to it. And then bonus action, Ste'yn will bring up Spiritual Weapon. Her Wilting Rose form with it. Just
Yeah, we had a
Hey,
rose.
it was a compass rose last time.
Right, because I was
Fun.
like, I hope you don't mind this lame compass rose.
She's going to bring it over here and whack Lady with it.
That's hardly a way to say I might take your offer.
While she's sitting there crushing Ste'yn, if you want to talk about this,
It's
let me
called
know.
a
We'll talk about
hug.
it.
It's
As
a
Ste'yn wipes her
welcome
with
hug.
Rose,
She's
she's going to say,
she's
if
not
you want
used
to
to
talk
having
about
this.
this,
Ste'yn did
let
say
me
she didn't like
go,
touching
and we'll
people.
talk. That is a 24 to hit?
24 will hit.
No, wait, sorry. 23, I did the math wrong, but still.
23 will hit.
Cool. That is 5 force damage. And she's just looking right in the eyes of the snake lady.
Viola, you have quite the scene in front of you.
Viola is going to pull out. She's had her hands on her rapier and her short sword, so she's going to whip them out. She is going to swing at Miss Girl with her rapier. That's a 9.
A 9 does not hit.
She's going to swing with her short sword.
Mhm.
That's a 19! That's a crit!
Right!
Yeah.
So do I add to the die and then double it, or double
No,
what
double
I
the
rolled?
die number. Yeah,
Okay.
double the die,
So,
add your proficiency.
11.
Beautiful.
And then she's going to action surge.
Woo!
She's going to swing with her rapier again.
Love it.
Probably need a quick
Damn.
swing. It's a 13.
You can add a d4.
Oh,
You're
yeah!
blessed.
17.
17 will hit. Roll the damage.
The bless is like just every single time. Okay.
As long
Yep.
as the
Once around?
concentration is up.
Yes, as long as my concentration holds.
Always.
Literally just always, as long as the
For a
concentration.
Okay,
Yeah.
7 on that.
Golly.
second hit.
Okay. Y'all are wailing on my Yuanti. And I'm sitting here like, man, I'm a little nervous. This might be too much for them. I gotta stop ever thinking that. Is there anything else you would like to do, Viola? All right. You wail on the Yuanti while she continues to just hold fiercely this. By the way, you're looking at essentially a large, well, medium, a snake that is curled around Ste'yn and just squeezing her. And the snake is just completely adorned in gold. Snow, it is your turn. Your curiosity takes a moment, or must pause for a moment. Or doesn't have to. It's up to you.
He just keeps looking around. No, he's going to like, y'all got it.
You got Viola on your
Sits down and
side.
has lunch. He's going to cast Fairy Fire in this top right corner, which will get both of the hobgoblins.
Okay.
They have to make dex saves.
Excellent. The first one rolled a 15 for the dex.
That succeeds.
The second one only rolled a 4. I will indicate it is the one in
that
front of
one-
Viola.
All right, so all attacks have advantage against that one,
Ooh.
as it
All right.
is now outlined and glowing in blue, green, and well, actually, it looks almost like blue snowflakes just sort of coat that hobgoblin. It is now shedding dim light in a 10-foot radius, and any attack roll against it has advantage.
Okay.
Go
And
fairy fire.
then bonus action,
Burn.
inspiring Ste'yn.
Thank you.
Play your little tune.
He's gonna call out, "Come on, champion! Let's see what you got."
Anything else?
So you have a d6 that you can add on top of anything else.
Sweet.
Top of the initiative. Beau, you ran back up onto the ceiling, onto the wall.
Yeah.
And our friend doesn't like that. He's going to ignore his stupid long sword that didn't do him any good, and he's going to instead draw his long bow, to which he will aim up to you. It's the one that's nearest to you. That's a 20 to hit,
21.
not a natural. 21. Oh, right, plus 3, my bad. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's going to be 9 damage from the long bow as it growls and it has its bloodthirsty eyes set on you. His buddy, on the other hand, he's just going to claw at you, Viola. He just bares his claws and tries to dig into your flesh, which he thinks is very easily accessible. But we'll see. That's a 22 to hit.
Super excited.
Viola's like, why do you hate me? Alright, it is going to deal out 6 slashing damage. And I need you to make a constitution saving throw, please.
And I can add the D4 to the saving throw?
Yes. May Atala's light be with you.
And with your
18.
spirit.
Woo! It digs into you, and you can see where it's scratching into you, where the mithril armor is not hidden underneath. And where it's dragging along your skin, you also see this thin line of black by its claws. But very quickly, you watch it dissipate. Next will be our dancing friend here.
Wait, who's next?
Our dancing Yuan-Ti friend.
Oh.
Well, constricting
But I
Yuan-Ti
started
friend.
laughing because since this world is just a loop, I'm just picturing Pistachio endlessly running around in a circle.
Poor Pistachio.
Poor guy.
Remember that time we had a horror episode planned? The statue just runs past like those old cartoons on a loop, the background. She is going to bite down into you. Oof, unfortunate. That is only a 6.
6 surprisingly does not hit.
Simply. A restrained attack rolls against the creature have advantage, so we're gonna roll that one more time. Except an 8 doesn't hit either.
Diane
Alas.
just tilts her head out of the way.
It's like she was trying to talk to you again and then tried to bite down, and you were like, nope, Beau.
Beau's gonna move down this way, and then he's going to throw a knife over at this guy,
Okay.
because he's been lit.
He's pretty lit.
Oh, that's right, he has advantage.
And that's with advantage.
Alright, so that's gonna be 16. Oh,
These
plus
guys
1,
not been
7,
hit yet?
17. Wait,
17 will hit. Oh, no, it will
Wait,
not. I'm sorry.
is this the one? Wait,
You
a
can
minute.
add a d4.
I'm rolling
Add
a
a
d4.
D4.
I'm trying to see if this is a 1 or not. What is this?
If your dice aren't legible,
Look at the other
There's a
numbers
problem.
and use process of elimination.
Well, because it's all
you're
like...
such a teacher, Cassie.
No, because like, look at this. So like, this is how... I
You
don't know if
can't
it
see
shows up. But with this added, that's 17.
Oh.
17?
No, I think you said 17 to begin with.
No,
No, I
because
think he said 17 was
I
the
got
plus,
an
was with the plus
11.
one.
I got an 11 plus 5, which should put it up to 16. Plus 1 gives it 17.
17 does not. Don't you have advantage?
Yeah, that was with
Or that
advantage.
was with
The first
advantage.
roll was
Oh.
like a 3.
17 does not hit.
Alright, he's gonna throw another knife with his bonus action.
Get it done.
Alright. Well, that one's already a 23. Plus-
Okay, that hits.
Plus 4, so that'd be 20.
Why not? You're blessed. Make it count.
Bless.
So that's 12 damage.
12
Nice.
against that one dude.
Yep.
That second dagger sinks true and he drops. I was gonna say he's displeased, but he's nothing anymore. Alright, he's down.
I like that you put the little blue dot on his token.
I had to.
Oh, man.
Alright, Beau, anything else?
Get snow.
That's everything he can.
Beautiful. Ste'yn. You're restricted still.
Cool.
What's the word I keep wanting to use?
Grappled and restrained.
Restrained.
Restrained, restricted.
First up, bonus action, we're gonna whack her with the raise again. That is a dirty 20 to hit,
That will hit.
11 force damage.
Dang it. Okay, yes.
And then let's see.
Don't worry, my pretty, I'll get you soon.
And then Ste'yn will cast Guiding Bolt.
Ooh.
We'll do it at second level, and because she's right up close to the snake, it's going to be at disadvantage because it's a ranged attack spell, but we're still going to go for it.
Okay. Does this involve her? It's a cantrip or it's a spell, you said?
It's a spell.
Is there a saving throw or anything like that?
It's an attack.
Ah! This is precisely what you
Oh.
continued to say, and I was not listening. Carry on.
Yes, so I'm going to roll an attack. And that is a 24 or 26 to hit.
Holy, that hits.
So then that's going to be 5d6 damage.
What? For a first level spell?
I cast it at second level. It's 46 at first
Second
level.
Yeah,
level
cast it.
spell?
Guiding Bolt is pretty lit. Pun intended.
22 radiant damage.
22 radiant damage.
And the
Alright.
next attack roll made against this target has advantage because she is now glittering with mystical dim light.
You guys are so kind to make my people look so
Heck
fun.
And I'm gonna say, the light's pretty powerful, isn't it?
It just hisses at you. Okay.
That's all she can do. She can't really move.
I like how you're just like, oh, restrained?
It'd try to
Okay.
break the grapple.
It's keeping
Why?
her from attacking other people.
Maybe.
I mean, so far that
Maybe.
tracks.
Maybe that's just the DM. Maybe
she
the
just
DM
hates
made a
you the most.
mistake. Viola.
Is she starting to look like hurt?
She looks incredibly uncomfortable.
She's gonna swing at her with her rapier, and I get advantage for this.
And you can add a d4.
Well, my first roll was a nat 1.
Good thing for
Thank goodness
advantage.
For that advantage.
Okay, 25.
We'll hit.
11 damage.
11 damage. Yeah, you strike at her and she lets out this howling scream. It seems to be taking all that she has to continue holding on to Ste'yn.
Viola will swing at her with her short sword.
Okay.
15.
You can add a d4.
I did.
A 15 just hits.
She has less AC than those little hobgoblins.
Mm-hmm. She's meant to be more of a
Well,
power hitter, but she probably spent too much time one way or another. And action economy happens, and I forget these things exist.
7 damage.
That was with your short sword?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where do you stab her with this short sword that she no longer is even capable of holding on to Ste'yn?
She's been aiming for the part of her that's been wrapped around Ste'yn to try and get her off.
You stab into her and you're able to get deep enough and wound her deep enough that she glares in your direction, but the light is quickly fading from her eyes as she sort of unravels and starts to crumple to the floor, unmoving.
Viola will ask Ste'yn if she's okay.
Just fine. Thank you.
Of course.
Dan sort of brushes herself off and looks to see what there still is to fight.
Oh yeah, there's still a
There's this hobgoblin hanging out who hasn't
yeah.
taken any damage
Oh.
yet. That would make it Snow's turn if Viola is done.
Snow will see that the Yuan-Ti has fallen, and he's going to look at Ste'yn and say, "Are you going to stabilize her?"
As soon as I can. She doesn't have a reaction for that.
I
didn't
didn't
prepare
prepare that one today.
She always has spare the dying.
Bonus action, bring you at range.
That is a 16 insight to see if I think she's telling the truth, that she will stabilize her.
You can either say so, or you can roll persuasion or deception in response.
Ste'yn seems sincere.
In that case, he's going to back up a bit and say, "Please don't come any closer, I can smell you from here," and cast Vicious Mockery.
Dang.
So wisdom save.
That's a 1.
He takes 1 point of psychic damage.
Oh,
So there.
what a jerk. Dang. Okay. Anything else, Snow?
No.
All right. It is
Actually,
the
how
hobgoblin.
hurt does Beau look? Does Beau look like really hurt?
I mean, he has an arrow sticking out of somewhere. Probably his shoulder.
Seen worse. You've seen worse.
Beau,
Concerned
you
about.
heal 5 points.
Oh, thank you.
I'm guessing you're not concerned about stabilizing the hobgoblin that was murdered. This is pure assumption.
No, he didn't seem intelligent. Didn't seem like a person.
Oh, we're okay.
We're still in initiative, right?
You are, because that hobgoblin's just chilling.
Okay.
So we are back to the top of the initiative then. It is the hobgoblin, and he does seem just kind of set to harm. He looks for a moment at the fallen Yuan-Ti, kind of looks back for a moment at where he had just come from, looks ahead again, and he will come. Well, he's the one who actually has the bow in hand, so he's going to launch that bow.
He has
He's going to aim it-
disadvantage because
Yes,
of
that's
Vicious
right.
Mockery.
Okay, he's going to aim his longbow at you, Snow, for being so rude, so mean. You hurt his feelings. He's unhappy. A 19 or a 6.
That's not gonna hit.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. He's just roaring and screaming as he's pulling back these arrows and aiming them at you, and you're very easily just kind of like, and dancing right around it. But
I'm
he
swatting at my
looks
nose.
angry. I'll tear it off your face. Beau.
Okay, Beau's gonna use his bonus action to give him advantage. So that's 19.
19 just hits.
That's 12 points of damage.
Another dagger, another day, another death. He goes down, screaming the entire way until he cracks against the floor. And finally, probably just because his jaw is snapped from the impact, he stops screaming. We will
Coolest.
exit initiative.
As soon as Ste'yn has a chance, she's going to cast Spare the Dying on the one teeth, which stabilizes it. If it was at 0 HP, it'll regain 1 hit point in 4 hours, but it's stable. It's not going to die.
So she remains unconscious. Okay.
I think so.
So you now stand in this room full of crates, chests, barrels, all manner of things, especially on that one side. It's just all over the ground. Whereas on the opposite side, you see a few of those boxes more neatly stacked.
Viola's gonna look at Ste'yn. Do you have those manacles? I feel like we should restrain her in some
Well,
way,
what's
shape,
the
or
plan?
form.
We're gonna carry her back for a week?
She has information about the deity of the dark. Now we have proof that there is something much bigger at work here. I think she's worth, at least for now, keeping to get information from.
She does seem very important.
Beau's gonna search her.
I was gonna search her. I'm already right there.
Well, that's only because
There
I didn't
isn't-
move him out of initiative.
Well,
You
leaps
two and your
across the room.
racing. On her actual body, give me an investigation check.
18.
Beau got, I think, 8.
Okay, so it was an 18 and a 14?
8.
Or 8.
Yeah.
I wanted you to have the additional, that's what it was. So, Beau, you start to look about her body. She isn't carrying anything on her, and she died, or she fell unconscious, as it were, in this snake form. There really isn't anywhere to hold things, so it's just her and whatever these metal pieces that are on her very much appear to be maybe grafted to her body somehow. To remove them would be, I mean, they're gold. Don't get it wrong, it's gold. It would be probably a fair bit. But,
He's gonna try and remove it.
okay, as you consider doing that, Snow, while you're looking over her, you notice one of these snaking tendrils on her body coming from her head and wrapping around by her cheek. Well, snake cheek.
Mhm.
On an underside of one of them, there's one patch of it that is not where the gold seems to be more like a little pocket to hold something that's been put in there. And you find about a half-inch long a ruby.
Nice.
Is it filled with blood?
I pocket it.
It's a ruby.
Yeah, tell me Ste'yn doesn't have to make another charisma save.
So we'll say it's smaller. That's probably only like maybe like a quarter inch. It's not very big. You said you pocketed it, Snow?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll have you make a charisma saving throw. And I believe you can make it at advantage?
Yes.
If it's to charm him.
And
If it's like the others.
Actually,
Is Bless
no.
still up?
No, it is not. This is not at advantage.
but yes, Bless is
Well,
still
then
up.
I
This is
will
all
roll
happening
again.
very fast.
Does Viola see
Let's see
him?
what it
Like,
actually
does she see
is.
him pocket the ruby?
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20? Okay, cool. It's not to say that you felt anything, but Snow does not notice anything. Snow, were you being secretive about it?
Found
Okay.
it. Put it away.
So then she would ask, is that one of the same rubies from the crown, you think?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. But I'll identify everything we find when we get out of here.
Maybe that will change her demeanor now that it's not wherever it was on her.
Give me just an investigation check in general for this room, please.
Where
Everyone who
is
is
Beau
inside.
at with these gold?
Give me a survival check as you attempt to essentially, like, carving.
That would be
Viola
a
sees him start doing that. She's gonna be like,
12 or a 15.
Cross off the die. There's no good way to do this.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need a good way. He just wants a way.
No, I know.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fine. There's just, so you understand, there's
Yeah.
no clean way to do this, as you find a way to either pull, or you can like slowly slice, or whatever it is, but you can manage to get one of the smaller lengths of these tendrils, maybe slightly less grafted directly to her. You can manage to loosen that one and take it. It's maybe, I don't know, 6 inches long. It's relatively thin, but it does look like a small curling snake tail, and it is gold. And there is now also blood, like all along, like all over the edge of it is blood.
Viola's gonna start looking at the crates to see if she sees any like labels or anything for like where they were headed or anything like that.
Yeah, everyone with that investigation check who's in the room?
Oh, so
15.
Beau still gets to make that? Or no?
No, I'll say you were pretty preoccupied trying to get that thing off.
Alright, that's fine.
Viola, I'm sorry?
15.
14.
16.
As you start going through the objects, the crates, and there are numerous of them.
Ste'yn.
What?
You have
You have
inspiration.
inspiration if you want
Oh,
to
cool.
not waste it.
Oh yeah, let me use
Y'all
that real
often
quick.
waste it.
Oh, that was a 6. That got up to a 22.
Even better. Cool. Yeah.
There we go.
The crates, the boxes, all of it that's in this lower side of the room. They all look like a lot of, they look like deliveries. They look like packages. They have a lot of items of various types. Ste'yn, you put together 2 things. One, on this side of the room, you find sitting on top of one of the boxes. You remember that's where the 2 entities, when you first came in, were standing. And it seems like perhaps it was something that was being inspected before you guys so kindly interrupted. And what you see there is a small ring box, a little jewelry box. And you open it. There is, sitting in there, this beautiful silver band and a small, relatively small, but still quite nice, diamond ring sitting on top of it. And when you look a little closer, you see an engraving in there. It's in common. The first letter is a K. There's like the ampersand sign. And then you see a V engraved on the inside of the...
Aw.
It's Canyon's engagement ring for Beau.
The other thing you notice...
No wonder she's so disappointed. Not his fault.
He's just waiting for a ring, man. The other thing you notice as
He
you're
worked
inspecting...
so hard.
They both do. You notice a difference between the 2 sides of the room. Not just that one side is incredibly messy and just full of every type of thing, but that the other side that is very neatly stacked, as if it has already been sorted through, everything on that side, from these jars that are on the ground to these 2 knives, these like thick butcher's knives that are on top of one of the crates, and even when you peek inside, what you see in there, everything in there is some type of metal, some iron or steel item. And it's a broad range of items. It's everything from weapons to like kitchen utensils to screws and nails. But everything on that side is very specific like that, as if they were sorting through and moving them and separating them.
Ste'yn would also like to cast his magic and see if there's anything magical in this room.
In this room, yes. One item that's hanging out in the group of items that are still on this messy side of the room, you find a leather pouch and something inside of that. I'm going to say that one is also transmutation.
All right, she'll open up the pouch and...
You see a number of these little clear beads inside, and when you touch it, they have kind of a spongy, buoyant texture to them. And the other thing you find is on the other side of the room, inside one of the crates. The thing that gives off the magic glow, when you look inside, you see a quiver of... Well, it's not a quiver anymore. The quiver was discarded, it seems, but you see a series of arrows in there. But one of the arrowhead is giving off this sense of evocation, and I will correct that if that is not actually accurate.
Makes
Clearly
sense.
some type of attacking.
Ste'yn will pick that arrow up out of the bunch and just sort of hold it. She also picked up the pouch that was with the little spongy buoyant beads.
But you guys are still in this compound. You're still in this weird place.
Let's
Well,
get out of here.
I'd say, well, what would you like to do next?
I mean, nothing's
Right.
really changed.
I think we found where the missing deliveries are.
The question is, how do we get it back to where it belongs? Because I feel
How
like
do
if we leave,
get
we're
back
like
to where
never.
we belong?
Well, how are we ever supposed to find this place again? Can we even get out of here in the first place?
I think we have to try. It
What
could
if we
be that
can't get
by...
back and all the stuff just stays missing?
I'm sure our snake friend could tell us how to get
But I
out
was
of
just
here.
gonna kick the snake lady to wake her
She
up.
said,
I guess she's stable. She could become conscious again, yeah? Once you're stable?
Yeah.
Little 11K.
You can. Yeah.
So you've torn an appendage off of her head and then kicked her in the face.
Well, I didn't say kicked her in the face. He just kicked her in, like, I don't know, the ribs or something.
So you tore an appendage off her head and then kicked her in the ribs? I just want to make sure I'm being clear.
Yeah, he's kicking her somewhere. I didn't really put that much thought. He's just kicking her.
And then kicked her.
I don't
Cool.
really know the anatomy of a snake humanoid, so I don't know.
Yeah, you swift kick her to kind of get her conscious. Being magically stabilized probably helped.
She was already
Um,
manacled too, right? I believe
we
so.
restrained her
mean-
in some way.
Yeah.
She's in a snake form. I don't
Oh.
know what your
Can
manacles
we
were gonna
find
go
an
around.
empty crate and stick her in? Stick
Does
her
she
in
have
there?
arms right now? Does she not have arms right now?
She's
Oh, I
She-
definitely thought she had arms right now. That's my
No, but
bad.
as she's
Yeah,
kicked
I-
awake and her snake head kind of like snaps to attention with a mean but ineffective bite just in the air, she sees you, and then that undulating begins again as she seems to transform back into that Yuan-Ti form. She pushes herself up at least to sitting, and she looks rather put out as the four of you are surrounding her and her hobgoblins are dead.
How do we get out of here?
Hello. Good morning. We have some questions. That's the first one.
She looks back and forth between you. You should just stay.
That doesn't answer the question, though.
You can't just leave.
Why not?
Well, because. And she's like, seems to have a bit of a headache. Kind of holds back her head. Winces, pulls her hand back, and there's blood. Because you'll get lost in the dark.
And how do we avoid that? How do we get back to the light?
You need a key. You need a guide.
Why do we go in circles if we leave?
The door may be open, but you cannot just find it. You need passage. You need permission.
How'd we get here in the first place then if we didn't have permission?
Oh, you did then.
Activate
looks
my
at you,
medallion of
Ste'yn.
thoughts.
Sure. So you're checking her as she's saying these things? You see an image a lot like what you guys walked into when you first got in. It was the forest, and it's just like that kind of cloudy dayness. But then it gets dark, and what you can see is this little pinpoint. It's not quite a bright light, but it is some kind of beacon of magic that gives you a sense of, like she's saying, permission or passage. It's some kind of token or item or something.
So where is this key that we need?
She shrugs. I don't need one. And you don't have one. But the one who we love,
No, but you...
she lets you come here.
Yes, that sounds very nice of her. But you're a smart lady. You know where it is.
I don't have one for you. Maybe you'll just have to stay. Or ask your champion to be our champion. And maybe she'll receive the token of favor. She looks back at you,
How did
Ste'yn.
my question shape her thoughts when I asked where about the location?
That one's trickier because it isn't any kind of, like, you don't get any kind of sense of just like a location or a place. It's, again, some type of something you can hold or have. Yeah, I'm not sure how else to describe it.
Power of the light nearly killed you. would have if I hadn't extended mercy. I thought the dark was supposed to be powerful.
She kind of looks down at the ground a little bit, and she shakes her head. If I let down my goddess, then that is on me. But she is powerful.
What's the name of your goddess?
Mosine, of beauty, love. Worship her. We should all worship her. She will guide us forward.
How do your goblins move around?
She looks to you. How do you mean?
Do they have these keys?
No.
So where are they?
The goblins?
The keys.
You only need the key if this is not your domain.
Beau's gonna cut off another one of her tendrils. The gold ones.
Okay, roll the attack.
Is it attack or survival again?
I don't think you're trying to like salvage it properly. I mean, it didn't sound like you were trying to salvage it.
I mean, he wants to be able to resell it.
If you were to use this as survival, it'd be like a steady kind of like what you were doing before. If you're just whacking at it, I would say it was an attack.
Okay, that's fine. 23.
That'll hit. You don't have to roll the damage. You had a very specific purpose.
Okay, cool.
That's fine. Yeah, you just like, without even giving her a chance to notice, you just grab one, hack it off, and she screams and like holds her head down.
All right, you want to tell us now?
She glares at you and then looks back at Ste'yn. In order to move through the dark, you must have a token to go through the mist, or you will walk for eternity.
I understand that. And the only way to get a token is to bow down and worship. That doesn't seem very convenient. What about those who are searching? What about those who are wanting answers before they give commitment? What about those who are trying to walk the fine line and maybe be an unknown agent?
Unknown? Why would you want to be unknown? Let yourself give in to the dark.
Never said I wanted to be unknown. But for those who do, or how do we get one of these tokens? If I say yes to you, will you suddenly have a token for me?
I cannot grant it. They are given or made.
How does one make a token?
Very powerful magic.
Insight check her as she's talking about the tokens, see if she's hiding anything or holding anything back.
Sure, go ahead.
And that is a 25.
Yeah, that's a lot better than hers. She's certainly being truthful because she doesn't want to get her tendrils cut off again. You guys have her well intimidated, but she also just has this powerful, just even more than that is just her love of this creature she views as a god. When you have a token to guide you through the mist, through the dark, still yet, the door must be opened to you. The door was opened to you. My goddess wanted you to come here. She wanted you to join us.
Why won't she talk to me herself?
She did. Didn't she? She said she did.
I never got a name
before. Why are you so interested in this champion?
Mosine.
What's so special about her?
Mosine said that the champion offered herself. What if I had the light's own chosen? Of course she wants that.
Trapping me in a place doesn't seem like a very good way to get my favor. How can I speak to your goddess again?
This domain is but a little one. So, perhaps... She holds her head again where the other tendril was cut. Perhaps it is easier to get through if you know where the exit lies. The exit here in this small domain, only big enough to bring you here and to find her goods. And she indicates back to all the shipments that were taken. A place like this will have an easier found exit than the stable domains. You want to look...
As in down or south?
As in down.
Can you show us where this exit is? Keep in mind that your answer could determine how long you breathe.
Viola will take out her sword and hold it up to her.
Give me an intimidation check.
Wait, both of us? Or is it with advantage for Ste'yn because I'm helping her?
If you're helping her, first you roll, Viola. Not so intimidating. Oh, that's right. That's a charisma thing, isn't it?
6.
Oh, Ste'yn, go ahead, roll normal.
That is a 25.
Good thing she doesn't really need my help.
She's good at intimidation.
Your cuteness inspired her. Even can only go so far. But if you insist on leaving without properly joining...
I'm not properly joining anything until I talk to the actual one in charge again. I'm worth more than interlopers. But
do not think you are so high and mighty, little champion. She only regarded you because you felt so highly about yourself. She could feel the arrogance pouring out of you, so she invited you to embrace it. You are not that special.
She hasn't given me a reason to embrace it.
She doesn't need you. You will need her when the dark takes the light.
The exit.
Anyway, you were saying something else.
Yes, the exit. And she will start to get up on her slithery serpent body, and she will start heading to the door.
Ste'yn grabs one of her arms as she gets
Viola
up.
takes the other arm.
I can't move if you hold my arms!
Tell us where to take you.
Like escorting a grandmother through the...
Yeah, right? Oh, dearie.
Okay, Grandma, let's get you to bed.
Now you see, children these days aren't this kind.
Oh wait, real quick. I did grab Canyon's engagement ring. That's in my pocket. Wasn't going to leave that behind. Want to make sure that's...
Noted.
Well, Beau was going to ask a question while they're walking if she's not saying anything.
She's going to start just guiding you guys. Yeah, you can ask her.
The gnome out in the woods, does he work with you?
I do not know of a gnome in the woods.
Well, your doors aren't that shut.
Maybe he has a token.
Do any of us have a token?
She looks back. Seeing magic is not my forte.
If it's a matter of seeing magic, that's simple.
See how much you bring and how much more we can offer. And she's still making her way. The direction she's going, she comes out of this room, back into that hallway with the 2 suits of armor. She leads you back to the farthest door. She slides this door aside, and you walk into what appears to be, on first blush, it looks like a prison, almost. Mainly because you see these 4 sets of chains screwed to the ground, or welded to the ground, along the right-hand wall. Directly in front of you, and off into the corner, you see 2 tables that are covered, or that have a few jars and bowls on them. Along the left-hand wall, you see a shelf that has 2 vials on it, and some books, or some pages. You see that part of that wall is just boulders wedged into place. And then you also see 2 more of these tall cages, but these 2 are empty. Also in the ground, this metal floor in here, there is a grate not too far from the entrance of the room.
Snow wants to look at the vials and bowls.
The vials on the shelf, you find 2 of them. One is this like midnight blue, some type of potion. It has these little flecks of gold inside of it. They're just slowly kind of floating about. The second one is a kind of sickly neon purplish looking liquid inside that is not moving. It's just kind of settled there. You said also I should have said there's
Also the books.
a book. I apologize.
Snow
A book.
will put the vials in his backpack.
The Yuanti kind of hisses at you. You shouldn't touch what you don't understand.
I'll understand it later, thank you. Or you can just tell me. Either one's fine.
No, I will not take that fun from you. The
Aw,
book you
thanks.
find... You two are friends already! The book you find, this tome, it is a decently thick volume. When you kind of glance through it, all of it is handwritten. And you realize quickly it's less of a book and more of a journal. With quite a few entries in it. And the only, kind of just on first blush, one thing you keep seeing that's pops up over and over, you see written like a title or a name, you see just the doctor.
Viola's gonna look at the snake lady, our horse, outside. Is he going to be able to get out of here, or is he gonna be stuck running in circles forever?
Horses will stop running eventually.
Well, you could say that about everything.
That's true. He could just drop dead. But no, I'm sure whatever horse you were talking about has stopped running. But no, it cannot simply walk its way out.
So
Maybe you'll be
Viola's-
lucky. Maybe it'll be waiting for you.
Viola's gonna go back out and see if she can find Pistachio.
Go back out. You're running through this whole place.
You're gonna go through the
Well,
whole compound!
well, at least see what she has on offer
No,
here.
she's leading us to the exit. Don't go back through the entrance.
I can't leave Pistachio here.
She's fine.
This will probably lead
He's
outside, it's
fine.
fine.
Don't separate
Besides,
yourself.
Pistachio didn't like you anyway.
We got along just fine, thank you very much.
This is no time for splitting up.
Viola's very hurt.
Dang.
Snow's going to hold up the journal and the 2 vials before he sticks all of those things in his backpack. Hey, champion, any of this magical?
Is any of it magical?
Those are definitely magical potions.
But not the journal.
The journal is not magical, no. But it is
Potions.
used.
Potions, yes.
Cool, thanks.
I don't know. Careful, probably want to
He
break this.
puts all of it. Oh, I'm
Ste'yn's gonna
always
look
careful.
at Wanty and ask, what sort of grand plans does your god even have? So far, there's been nothing but minor mischief, minor annoyances. Those chickens were abysmal.
He
Abyssal.
slowly glares.
Abysmal.
Puns are only forgivable when they are in honor of our god.
Is there
Um,
no scene then?
Give me a persuasion check.
Hey! That is a 21.
The goal always has been more. More of us. More for her. All for her. And so, one by one, there will be more of us.
This lovely serpentine kind of person, or just more in general? Or more is very, very broad. I'm tired of dealing with broad.
But it
I want
is broad.
specifics.
But it is broad. It will come from everywhere. All of us will bow to her. We just need to worship her.
Listen, Broad, can you just answer the questions?
She is gathering her people one by one from everywhere. Is that specific enough?
Better.
What sort
What do
of
you need the
people is
medal
she
for?
interested in?
That you were collecting here.
I don't ask. I simply do as I'm told. I'm a good follower. She knows that I am loyal.
So if I
You do seem
She's-
very obedient. Yeah.
Great. Now, where's the exit?
She points down towards the grate.
so if we push you down that grate,
That's what I was thinking.
the exit,
I have no intention of leaving.
you act as though you have a choice in the matter.
You'll kill me again?
Yes.
Like, we could bring you with us.
We don't have to.
He doesn't seem so sure.
Maybe we could bring you with us, get more information out of you as we go.
I have nothing more to tell you.
No, but you could tell the same things you told me to some other people.
They don't trust you.
They like to hear the same thing from
Let's
multiple
just go.
people.
So we have to jump down
We
this
get
grate.
it. You'll like to banter. Let's just go.
We've got rope.
What rope? The grate
it,
is
like, is
welded
there a latch
down.
or something, or
It doesn't appear that way.
Okay.
It's just welded down, but it does go into some kind of, like, there's empty air below it.
Ste'yn's going to take a copper
so
piece
it's
out of her
metal?
pocket and cast light and drop it down through the grate.
Okay. You watch it drop, and it goes. Give me a perception check. Whoever wants to.
15.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
It is quite a drop, whatever that is. She doesn't seem perturbed as you're all like watching this coin go down. She actually seems kind of impressed. You eventually hear some kind of like splashing, pretty good distance.
Well,
Well,
these holes don't exactly look like we'll fit through them, so I'm not sure.
Well, it's a grate. Over on that
Yeah,
one
like you'd
side.
remove it and
So, like a sewer
body
Oh,
would
grate.
I
go
thought you
in
said it was welded down.
You'd have to get the grate up. So like you can drop a
All
coin
right.
through.
Why don't you pull it up? You're strong.
Viola will pick it up.
Give it a-
I thought it was
give it a
like
tug.
fully welded to the floor, like we would have to break it. That's why I wasn't just assuming
That is what I meant. Like, if you wanna, you can destroy it. Like she said, she had no intention of leaving. The grate being closed doesn't make a difference to her.
I'm not gonna be able to bust through that.
Well, Snow just said that to her.
To open it,
Snow wasn't talking to you. He was saying that to the Yuanti. Yeah. Give it a tug.
he seems confused. Like it
You're
seems
strong.
obvious it's not just gonna open.
But then how do we get out if we can't just open it?
Are you not? My goddess doesn't make mistakes. And she looks at the. she looks at the grate.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Cassie's eye roll.
Cassie does not hide her feelings.
Mhm.
Sick of it.
I hate you people. She kind of puts her hand to it, and she's not going to pull it. She's going to cast a spell to otherwise blast through it and create a not clean. It's not a clean passage, but you'll fit through it.
There you go. You see, you're not so useless. You can help.
Oh, you will
So
be
we're
one
just
of the
gonna go
first
for
to
it?
die.
Ste'yn's gonna look at Beau. You know how you suggested a cliff? What about jumping down there?
Bo could just walk down.
Oh,
She's
he
not-
could. He has that.
He walks on vertical surfaces.
Oh, I
all
didn't
the
think.
time.
Wait,
When
is
were you
there
guys
vertical
talking about
surfaces there?
cliffs?
I mean, it's a pit to just go down.
Open.
I imagined it more like a chute,
Oh.
at least to a degree, and after that, there's other stuff happening down there. But yeah,
I could just
Beau
push
could
her
climb
and
down a
see
kind of
what
way.
Check it
happens.
out, Bo.
you could. Whatever you'd like to do.
Well,
Delete.
Beau's using a bonus action, and he's finishing off this ENT.
What?
He's using his bonus action, give himself steady aim, and then he's stabbing her.
I see we've reached.
No.
That's 18.
I mean, that
Cutting
hits
words.
her. That hits her AC.
Wait, he said cutting words.
Oh, cutting words. What does that subtract?
No, it's just a 1.
Ah. 17 will still hit.
She takes 16 damage. And is dead.
Yes. I don't think she was stabilized past that. Yeah. That we're
Ste'yn
not
will
gonna do.
revive again. She wants more information from this now.
She'll be cooperative. I just don't want to go back and forth. Stab.
I mean,
revive,
he's
stab,
not
revive.
just
That's
gonna
take
let
too
them
long.
leave her there.
We're gonna bring her with us.
I mean, she said she wasn't gonna go, so he was just like, okay, well, if we're leaving, she's not coming, then.
Viola will
doing
koala
this
bear
and
her
going
and
on.
jump down the hole with her if she needs to.
Is it big
Get her
enough?
to go.
You guys will fit. Yes. Viola,
Are
go
we
ahead.
just
Give me a.
gonna jump down and go?
She can't help it if she's koala beared, especially if she was stabbed. So now she's, definitely available to be koala beared.
Ste'yn will take out some rope and her manacles again and make sure she is thoroughly restrained. Let's just go.
Oh.
Viola's over it, so she's just gonna grab the snake lady and jump down the hole.
Okay. Are the others
Ste'yn
following?
is jumping after. And as they're falling,
I will
Ste'yn's
follow.
gonna send up a prayer to Atala, and she's going to use her Radiant Soul which means
This is where we get radiant soul.
apparently so, because we don't know what's down there. We didn't investigate it.
We dove. Are
Yeah.
the boys also jumping?
Beau's just gonna climb down.
Sounds good. Sounds
No doubt.
good. Beau, a few feet, probably like 20 feet down, that kind of wall of the chute stops and becomes what you see is more like it's very dark down here. And you do get a lot of that same sense that you have felt before, that dark, like misty sense. What you see looks very cavernous almost, but also just very obscured. But where your friends have fallen ahead of you and where I guess snow falls after because you're climbing, shortly after that, you hear a splash. All of you have
Whoa.
splashed down. Well, I guess Ste'yn is fine.
Well, she was trying to start flying and grab, if she can, to slow descent, Viola and Snow, just to... If she doesn't know what's down there with the water, yeah. Just
I
trying
like
to grab them and maybe keep them from splashing, but
Give me a quick athletics check.
that is a 18. No,
Okay.
19.
Better. That's enough strength to kind of, at the very least, slow their fall. And so you can see upcoming is just this dark water below you. It's not like wide and cavernous, it's in a direction. It looks very much like you are about to splash down into a river. It's just very dark in this area as if it were very deep. But it appears to be water and it appears to be heading back out, kind of in a, it has a very clear direction. The water is now
Terrible.
flowing in a specific direction.
Bring them in that specific direction, just sort of towing them along with her.
Okay. The roof of this like natural kind of roof is coming down though. You will have to go into the water.
She'll keep them afloat as much as she can.
It only
You
goes
look
so far.
amazing.
Power of the lights.
You're glowing.
I'm always radiant.
Flash.
Needle splash. Gentle
Okay.
splash.
Everyone, please roll me Constitution saving throw, please. Stay in holding Viola,
Wait, what is
holding
it
the
for?
Yuanti. Constitution when you enter the water.
Alright, well, I got on that one.
I got a 6.
15.
10.
As you're swimming through the water in this first area, and it's for just a little bit, it just doesn't feel like it feels like sharp almost. It's hard to describe, but it feels like it's very unsettling. You will take 7 points of psychic damage as you guys are dipping down into the water. And just to sort of montage-ish this part, where you're diving down, Ste'yn, well, I guess maybe all of you guys can see there is something is like drawing you. Just instead of going out by the river where it would flow back underneath the compound, something is drawing you down. Not physically pulling, but it's telling you like this is like a permission kind of thing. It is an entry. You head towards it. It feels really long. It feels like a difficult swim. You're not totally sure, like for a moment, for more than a moment, if you're even going to make it. You only have so much breath in you. And just before you are absolutely certain you're going to start choking, Beau, you're fine. Just as you're thinking you're not going to make it, this little something is there. It's not a beacon of light. It's more like a beacon of magic. Very similar to what you saw, or precisely what you saw, Snow, when you were reading her mind. And as you get closer to it, you could reach out and touch it. Do any of you actually reach out and touch it?
No touches it.
Snow touches it. You take it in your hand, and you are all just flooded in darkness. Absolute darkness. And when it subsides, you guys find yourselves splashing up out of a river, choking, coughing, except Beau, but still very uncomfortable. Splashing up out of a river, drawing yourselves to shore, pulling yourselves up. And as you get up onto the shore, you are not surrounded by clouds and that cloudy, dreary day. It's actually a quite nice day, quite beautiful, warm for the time of year, and amid a tree line that, for this map you had been looking at for basically 3 days, looks fairly familiar. And Snow, in your hand, you also see something familiar. A piece of what kind of looks like crystal, maybe no bigger than your pinky finger, in the palm of your hand.
How much
Is it
damage did
another
you say to
dark
take?
shard?
7.
7.
And we still got our snake lady with us.
And that was gonna be my next question: is would she have taken damage from that too? Because if she's only at 1 hit point,
She wasn't even at that yet. She was.
oh yeah.
Viola, as you're coming up out of the water, dragging yourself ashore, she's not in your arms in that moment. And I
Viola will
think
look around for her, but she's not gonna like go and search.
we'll determine precisely what might have happened there in our next session.
I didn't hear you if you had answered. If what Snow is holding, is that a dark shard? Is that what it looks like?
It sure does.
Okay.
It sure does.
So I know how to label it.
Yes, you may do that. Well, thank you from all of us here at Tales from the Catacombs. Catch up and recapture your favorite moments by subscribing to the channel. Thank you for journeying with us to bring clean, wholesome content to the world of tabletop RPGs. And a particularly huge thank you to my players, whose links are in the descriptions below. Please take a moment to follow these tremendous human beings and their exciting endeavors. We have David, who plays Beau, Catherine, who plays Ste'yn, Kassie, who plays Viola, and Josh, who plays Snow. I am Brenna. I am your storyteller for this adventure, and we will see you back here next time. Safe travels until we meet again.